the silly sods with the Extinction Rebellion idiots, because all they're going to do is turn people off the idea of, well, you can't save the planet. Can we stop using this ridiculous, we're going to save the planet? What from? How are you going to save the planet? Oh, we're going to stop we're going to stop it heating up. No, you're not.
It's too late for that anyway, even if it is that now. It's too
They're
late.
dancing, shouting, making a noise in the street. As far as I understand it, and I'm not very happy about the police
There's no
either.
structure.
As I understand it, it is a criminal offence to block the highway and stop people going about their lawful duty. So why do the police hierarchy say, "Oh, we have some sympathy with what they're doing"? Because you don't even know what they're doing, nor do they. Apparently, 52 arrests were made yesterday, 10 made on Sunday. One elderly woman who lay in Westminster Road was seen being carried off by 4 policemen and appeared to be arrested. Well, I'm an elderly man. If you're an elderly woman and you lie in the road, they'd have dragged me away by the scruff of my neck. Let's get down to this. These people are interfering with the rest of our lives. They need to be got rid of. They need to be removed.
Yeah,
they
you
need
can't
to be
hold up
stuck
people's
in
lives,
prison.
can you? Because people could do that with a cause every other day.
Exactly.
Every day.
Exactly.
Every day you could do it.
Mike Neville, retired Scotland Yard detective, chief inspector, joins us now. Mick Neville, I beg your pardon. Mike Neville was a TV presenter, wasn't he, in the North East?
Same guy went into policing after.
I don't think so. Mick, good evening to you. Why are the police so useless?
Well, I think the senior officers, they're recruited from the same sort of universities as these Extinction Rebellion clones, and we have what we have. You know, these police used to be full of ex-military guys like myself, but it's been taken over by sort of champagne socialist, lefty, Guardian-reading senior officers, and that's why you have this nonsense of officers skateboarding and not doing what they should be
And
doing.
they can't be fired like the chief, you know, even... what you're explaining there is the chief, basically, aren't you, of the Met?
The whole lot of them are of that ilk.
From the top down.
There's hardly any of them who have served in the military, whereas if you went back 30 years, at least half of them would have been in the military. And this is the problem. So they have got more sympathy with Extinction Rebellion than they have with the people who are trying to go to work in restaurants, bars, or just delivery men, or running a souvenir shop, or running a restaurant, whatever they are. So working people, they have they just don't care.
Are they cancelled then, these? Because they're already in the police, but why don't they get to that management level? Because they're not accepted within that sort of closed cabal.
Well, no, they're self-selecting, so that these people select their own kind, and then they get promoted time and time again.
That's very dangerous, though, isn't it? Very dangerous.
No doubt it's dangerous, but what you've got is that the police, you've got sort of a university degree to join, and it's all part of a scheme that they'd rather have people who'd got a degree in dance and some old rubbish or management than served in Afghanistan or Iraq. This is a major problem in the police. They're recruiting the wrong people, but the wrong people in charge, and they just bring their own people on. And here we have the results of it.
So, Mick, if you were in charge, I mean, Cressida Dick must be the worst commander of the capital city's police I think I have ever experienced. I mean, she can't do the job. Are they frightened to get rid of her purely because she's a woman?
She can't get fired.
It's a whole. Theresa May was promoting people because they were women. You know, this sort of nonsense. Why not just pick the best person if they're a man or a woman? But we have all this sort of silly nonsense going on. But the big problem is, I think, is their sympathies lie with the protesters rather than people who are just trying to get to work after 18 months of being involved in a pandemic where you can't work. You know, you can't run your shop, you can't run your restaurant, and we're pandering to people. Silly fools who come from universities or sort of middle-class, middle-aged women who are dancing around with pink hair around a pink table. We need to stop it. Let them do it in Hyde Park. They're going to protest. Do it in Hyde Park. Do it where.
Why can't they be dragged away, Mick? I mean, I think the majority of us would like to see the police dragging them away, and so the rest of us can get on with our lives. Nobody is taking this global warming thing seriously because of them. You know, we have to address the fact the planet is changing, and we have to address the fact that mankind will have contributed to it, like very many other things will have contributed to it as well. Nobody talks about the sunspots. Nobody talks about the tilt of the planet, which is what actually changes the and you know, sure, we're polluting it. You know, we're a messy bunch, but this isn't going to do any good. The government haven't got a clue because they've just messed up big time. Nobody wants the socialists in, so we're left in a really difficult place because now the police have gone woke. What are we going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I just picture the public, and you know, I'm retired now from the police, so I feel.
Well, could you not go back?
Oh, they won't have me because I'm one of these dinosaurs. You don't have to watch a Dirty Harry film to know that. I'm one of those dinosaurs who they were trying to get rid of in that.
But is that why we're getting kids stabbing them? You know, loads of stabbings because we haven't got the right policing, have we?
That's a real issue. And one of the big problems of Extinction Rebellion is that officers are then drawn into the centre of London. So all the council estates around London who are suffering, you know, from stabbings, who are suffering from drug dealing, suffering from burglary, the officers are then pulled away because they deal with these silly fools dancing around the pink table or whatever else they're doing. And so everybody else suffers. So I think James made the point. This is not going to change anybody's opinion. Nobody's going to think, oh, this is a wonderful thing. I must follow these people. The only people who support Extinction Rebellion are the same silly fools that turn up with a pink hair and do it every time. The members of the public who are walking by trying to get to work or trying to buy something in the shop, they're not going to think these are good people. They're going to think this is a lot of old nonsense, and they just simply turn them against them.
And if they carry... You know, if they carry on like this, some members of the public may get quite cross and smack one of them hard. And I bet it'll be the member of the public who's getting fed up with being obstructed anywhere she or he goes.
That's a criminal offence. You mustn't strike the protesters.
Well, it's a criminal offence what they're doing, blocking...
Not as serious, though.
I think it is.
Well,
I think it actually is.
You saw the last time round where people were on the where they jumped on top of the train on the Docklands Line.
Well, they pulled them off, didn't they?
And they pulled them off because people simply want to go home. You know, they've done a hard day's work. They want to go home. But the police, of course, you know, and
they gave them a little slap when they pulled them off as well.
They hadn't done their hard day. They were on the way to work. But they did it on a green train as well. That was perfectly a green. It was a ridiculous protest because they did it on a train that doesn't use any. You know, it was all green and it was all working class people trying to get.
You know, if
they
really want to make a difference, here's the thing: if they want to make a difference, go and demonstrate outside the Chinese embassy. Go and demonstrate outside the Russian embassy. Go and demonstrate outside the Indian, Pakistani. Where else? Saudi Arabian.
If they do all that, they'll clog up London streets by doing that as well.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, but if they were to demonstrate outside an embassy, the police would get very hard on them.
Well, perhaps they should go to China and protest there, or India, where they're building like massive amounts of coal-fired power stations. But they don't, because it's easy to mess around in London where the police are softly. But you've highlighted already about, you know, some old woman being dragged away by 4 officers. And people think, oh, that's an outrage. But all I would ever say is, imagine how hard, if your granny doesn't want to go down the stairs, it will take about 6 officers to drag her down.
They do that for their own safety. They take one each limb and one protects the head.
Yeah,
but there's someone saying the police dismantled the Gurkhas very quickly, but kiss up to these pathetic middle-class eco-morons. Although apparently they've already shut it down.
No, I don't think they dismantled the Gurkhas, and I think the Gurkhas were... I believe the government
actually dismantle the
promised them something. No. Can we... we're just going to take a short break, Mick. Stay where you are. Well, and Ash between now and 1. We're talking with retired Chief Inspector at Scotland Yard, Mick Neville. And, Mick, I have just actually heard, I'm told, that the police did storm in and they took down the Gurkhas' tents and said they couldn't have them there. So it was okay to deal with the Gurkhas in that way. Why isn't it okay to the moronic idiots who think that they have a right to stop the rest of us going about our daily lives? Why are they not dragging them off?
Well, the problem is, I suppose, with the police, with the senior officers, is they empathise with these Extinction Rebellion people. They don't empathise with the Gurkhas or football fans. So if you look at football fans, I've just been to a football match. You know, you're kettled in, you're made to wait for 20 minutes, whatever, because it's easy to mess around white working class men. It's easy to mess around Gurkhas because they sort of just take it on the all the time. So different groups. So Black Lives Matter protests are treated with a lot more kid gloves than a football match. So if a football match, if people try to attack the police or shouting some rude words, they'd be just crushed, dealt with. But because it's Black Lives Matter or Extinction Rebellion, it's dealt with in a very different way. And so this is very bad for the public, because what the public see is that the police deal with one sort of people in a certain way and another in another way. And it just ruins the impartiality of the police. The police are supposed to act without fear or favour. But what we see, if it's a fashionable cause, they're dealt with kid gloves. If it's not a fashionable cause, who cares about the Gurkhas? Who cares about football fans? It's dealt with in a much more robust manner, and it's unacceptable. It's not good.
What would you say to Miss Dick that she should do then?
Well, I think they should look at the protests. They should, like this pink table. They should robustly remove it, get rid of it. Say to them, get all the demonstrators and say you're perfectly entitled to go and demonstrate in Hyde Park or wherever else, but we're going to move this now to this place and just arrest them, deal with them. If they want to chain themselves to things, then have the angle grinders ready, cut the chains, move them on, arrest them, and just show them that we've got the working people are entitled to go to London to do their jobs, and they're not at the moment.
I've just had a great idea, Ash.
Really? That's never happened before.
No, I know. It's just came to me. Really, just that second.
Oh, what is
Let's
it?
send them over. Let's send them over to Afghanistan to go and demonstrate there, because I don't think the Taliban are very green, are they?
No, I don't.
Actually, they don't know.
But the other big thing about, of course, the last lot of protests, they cost £50 million. That's £50 million of policing that could be spent on knife crime, burglary, drug dealing, or whatever else. And it's all these individuals who are just causing a complete havoc in London and just ruining the lives of people who just, as I say, after 18 months of pandemic, simply want to get back to work.
I mean, do you think Cressida Dick is up to the job she's doing or not?
No, I don't. And what we've done all the time is that the police have become very woke, they've become very left-wing, and the senior officers self-select their own type of people. They're more concerned about people's political opinions and whether they're effective or not. And we need to get back to policing, which is all about preventing and detecting crime, not rainbows on cars or virtue signalling. And I think the public, whether they're straight or gay, black or white, all they want the police to do is do their job. So if they're in trouble, they need help, they turn up. But they don't. What they don't want is this constant nonsense that we see from the police.
Why are they having rainbow cars?
It's all part of that wokeness, isn't it?
Apparently, because people who don't trust the police, if they see a rainbow car, might report a crime to it. It's utter nonsense. But what you have...
It cost a fortune, all that livery.
Well, maybe it does. But the other thing is, it just shows to people that the police are not impartial. If the police turn up and a gay guy and a straight guy are having a fight, what does it say to the straight guy? Well, they're going to side with the gay guy every time. Whereas there's good gay people, there's bad gay people, there's bad straight people, there's good straight people. What the police need to do is stop all of this. Just be yourself. Just be the police. The police turn up. They deal with an incident. What colour you are, what you do in bed is of no consequence.
There shouldn't be any political symbols. You just be the police, like you say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
But with this Extinction Rebellion thing, this all flows through the same thing. It's all part of this wokeness that the police have fallen.
But it's snowballing. It gets worse because, like you say, they all employ each other, and it gets even worse, and it gets more and more woke. When does it end? Does it all implode?
Guys, Mick, the problem is going to be this. If these nutcases are going to hold people up for 2 weeks, which is what they are threatening at the moment. I think they said they're going to disrupt London for 2 weeks. Then people who earn a living and who need to work, if they're not very careful, people are going to start taking the law into their own hands if they're not getting any help from the police force.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, I know it's supposed to be a service.
Yeah, but yes, right. But people get frustrated. You're right to say that. Because, as I say, if you're a restaurant owner and you're losing tens of thousands of pounds because of this idiotic disruption, you're going to get very angry about it, and the police have got to deal with that. But the police need to start focusing on the needs of the restaurant owner, the shopkeeper, the lady who runs the cafe, or whatever else, because they're the ones who pay the taxes that pay the police. This Extinction Rebellion pay nothing. All they do is suck out resources from the police, and the police, then the police are more ineffective elsewhere.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine who's got a restaurant in Covent Garden earlier, just to see what it was like. And he said, well, we're getting really fed up with it. He said, and if they come and daub paint on my building, that'll be it. The chefs will be out. And you never want to upset a chef.
No, don't upset the chefs.
No,
and that's what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen, Mick. If the police can't do the job and get rid of these idiots, then people will take the law into their own hands, and then we're going to have complete and utter anarchy. And I can't believe Cressida Dick doesn't seem to understand this. Is she completely useless?
Well, I just think the trouble with the British public is they simply just go along with it until it gets really, really bad. You know, like a coil spring, and then they'll just leap forward. And the police are just happy that the sort of normal members of the public just let them get on with it and all that sort of stuff. And then the Extinction Rebellion, they just allow them to do what they're doing, but they need to be more robust so the public can see that the police are dealing with them. We don't want a state like China where you can't protest and stuff, but there's got to be a place where people do protest, and that is Hyde Park or
even Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, you can't block
stand
people. That's the thing. You
Square.
can't block people doing their business or block emergency vehicles.
But let me just, before we finish this, Mick, blocking the highway is a criminal offence, isn't it?
Absolutely. So obstruction of the highway is a criminal offence, and you can be arrested and charged with that offence. So absolutely, you could deal with under that.
So the laws are there. Yeah.
The law is
there. And so, I mean, they do say we haven't got anywhere to put all these people who want to be arrested, but there must be somewhere. There must be a huge, great warehouse not being used at the moment. We could
cruise
stick them in
liners.
there.
There's a lot of cruise liners going spare at the moment.
Well, there's 60 cells at Charing Cross Police Station. Perhaps they could use those as far
Nightingale prisons. That's what we need.
Yeah, I mean, we easily change those into makeshift prisons and stick all the demonstrators in there. We've got the anti-vaxxers and all the rest of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Mick, good talking to you. Thank you very much.